The third step is to create a dispatcher that will forward the user to the next view. So inside the front controller, once the command is executed, hit Ctrl 1, assign statement to a new local variable, and we will get the next view back. This is the next JSP page name. Here, we'll create a new dispatcher. This doesn't exist yet. Hit Ctrl 1, create a class called dispatcher, finish. Come back to the front controller, Ctrl 1, assign statement to a new local variable, call it dispatcher. So we are doing reverse development here. We are making the IDE do a lot of work for us instead of we manually creating these classes. Dispatcher dot, it will have a single method called dispatch. And the parameters to it are the request, response, and the page or the view that the command has returned us. So hit Ctrl 1, create a method in the dispatcher that will take the request, response, and the view. Ctrl D to delete this. And implement the dispatcher logic. If page is not equal to null, make sure that the page or the view is not equal to null. In that case, we want to retrieve the dispatcher from the request. So request dot, the servlet request has a dispatcher, get request dispatcher. Pass it a string, which is nothing but the view name dot JSP. You can hard code it here, or you can create a method called map page to view. Map page to view is a method that takes the view name and it will map it to a JSP. Hit Ctrl 1, create a method called map page to view. All this method does simply is append .jsp at the end. So if page dot equals or view dot equals, I keep calling it page, view dot equals, within double quotes, whatever view you have returned from within the command, view student command, we are just making sure that if this is the following view, then append return the appropriate view back, which is show student details dot JSP. This is the JSP which we will be creating in the next lecture. The responsibility of this page is to detach whatever the command is returning from the actual view. This name, show student details, can be completely different from this JSP page itself. So we are achieving that decoupling here. So let's call this JSP simply view student details. View student details. To understand it better, the command is returning show student details, but we are going to create a JSP file called view student details. And we are achieving that detachment because this map page to view will map the string to an appropriate JSP. Go back here, hit Ctrl 1, assign statement to a local variable, call it dispatcher. Dispatcher dot forward. Dispatcher dot forward, use the request and response that we got as parameters. Hit Ctrl 1, add throws declaration or surround with try catch, handle the servlet exception as well as the IO exception using multiple catch. Hit Ctrl D to delete that. And that's it. So that's the responsibility of the dispatcher. It receives the HTTP servlet request, the response, and the next view that the user should be sent to. It will map that view to the appropriate JSP page and it will dispatch that request to the view.